You've lived there for decades. It sounds like effectively living in fear right now when you've had 2 break-ins in the space of 4 days, including a very aggressive and quite violent one last night. Are you considering leaving Alice Springs, or others, your friends and associates, considering leaving Alice Springs in the face of this crime wave?
Oh, look, like I said, I've lived here for 36 years. My husband's from here. We've had our 3 children here. They've grown up here, and we've had, in more recent times, serious conversations about wanting to move, but we can't at the moment because we've got family commitments. We've got our mother-in-law. I've got my daughter who's having her first baby, and so we're committed to continue to support our family. But let me say, as soon as those commitments are fulfilled, if things haven't improved, we're out of here unless things improve dramatically, because it is a crisis.
It must be hard for you to say that as well. As I said, you're CEO of the Central Australian Aboriginal Congress. You've dedicated a lot of your career and life to try and improve the lives of First Nations people. You're going to meet with the Prime Minister in the next 10 minutes, I believe, via a Zoom link. So we've got to wrap up in 5 minutes or so. But what are you going to tell Anthony Albanese when you meet him this afternoon?
Well, I think we need a circuit breaker for a start, and because of this alcohol-fuelled crime, as well as having kids out on the street because, it's not safe to them to be at home because there's, alcohol being drunk and at levels that are causing them to get out on the street. Now, the combined Aboriginal organisations back in July last year sent a letter to a number of politicians, including the Prime Minister at both the Commonwealth level and the Northern Territory level, putting together a comprehensive strategy, which includes things like an Aboriginal-run diversion facility, establishment of a 24-hour drop-in centre and shelter, transitional housing, among other things. But there's no good investing in that if we're not going to actually deal with the cause of what's causing this crisis, and that is the actual turning of the tap on more. It's absolutely alcohol fueled. So we've got to put back in place what worked, because it is a beautiful town. It was a beautiful town. We were like any other rural town in New South Wales, and I travel over to where my family are in Grafton, and you drive through and you'd say, oh look, this is normal now. We're like any other rural town, and we have our ups and downs, of course, like everybody does, but this is abnormal. This is absolutely abnormal, and something's got to be done about it, and it should have been done months ago.
What do you say to the Chief Minister?
Introducing those supply reduction measures that work.
The Chief Minister said to my colleague Matt Cunningham this afternoon that, and she said it previously as well, that she's not going to do that because it's a race-based policy. What will you say to her this afternoon? Because no doubt she'll be on that call as well.
Well, what we've always said is that there's positive discrimination, and it's called a special measure. So if you've got a majority support to a particular strategy, and the actual strategy itself has maximum benefit, means in terms of a good outcome for the community, then it's positive discrimination. Even if you discriminate against a small select few, you're actually doing it for the benefit of the whole community. I argue for the rights in the context of what's going on here now. What about the rights of children and women? These children that are out on the streets, neglected. What about the rights of women who are getting, bashed? The DV, you showed those stats earlier. There's been an increase in domestic violence, break-ins in businesses and houses. It's got to stop.
Yeah, and well, you know better than anyone the last couple of days. Our thoughts with you after that experience last night. I know I've got to let you go. You've got to go and speak to Prime Minister Albanese, who's just arrived in Alice Springs. So thank you for your thoughts, and I wish you all the very best over the coming days, and hopefully things settle down, Donna.
Thank you, Karen, for putting a focus on this too.